for the establishment of friendship on a firmer and more lasting basis,
for the promotion of brotherly love
and kind feeling,
for the mutual benefit and advancement
of the interest of those with whom we sympathize
and deem worthy of our regard.
We have resolved to form a fraternity,
believing that thus we can most successfully accomplish our object. Hello, brothers, and welcome to the 4th episode of the Theta Omicron Old Gold Pikecast. I'm your host, Dave Pittman from the Theta class. Thanks again to several of my buddies for recording that preamble. I hope you were able to hear it. If you weren't, then listen for it on the replay. We'll have that out for you. I still can't believe it took us 30 minutes to get that one good take of a 30-second clip, but hey, we had some fun doing it, and that's all that matters, really. So let us crank up the podcast. First of all, I want to encourage all of you to join the fun. It's summertime, school's out, and people are on vacation. I thank all of you, and especially all of our guests tonight, for investing time in the program. And since you're here, I encourage you to tweet along with us using hashtag #ThetaOPikecast. Feel free to mention the Alumni Association at @ThetaOPikes and the actives at ISU Pike, or me, I'm at The Social Pit. And many of our guests have Twitter handles too, so watch for those whenever you see one of the garnet colored slides come up. On your next Pikecast screen, you can chat along with other attendees and send questions or comments to us. Finally, connect with the Alumni Association by email and on Facebook. And we would love it if you would tell us what you would like to see in future episodes. So with that, I'm going to welcome Dave Peterson to the show with us. There he is, popping up. Dave made a brief appearance on the previous episode of Pikecast, and I'm pleased to welcome him back. Dave is the current SMC of the chapter. So Dave, it's great to have you back again.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. I'm glad I could join.
And it seems like I'm having a little problem here with the video. So let me see if I can get that. Sorry, folks. Are you seeing us on the webcam?
I see you fine.
Yeah, both
Okay.
of you are up on the screen.
I hope everyone else does too. So it's not showing for me, but that's the hazards of live TV, I guess. So Dave, we're just going to chat for a little bit here. When you were on in December, you broke the news to us that Theta O had just won the President's Cup, but we didn't really get to learn much about you and your goals for the chapter this year. So let's fix that. Tell us a little bit about you. Where are you from? Where did you go to high school? What year are you?
So I am from Zionsville, Indiana, which is just north of Indianapolis. I went to school in Zionsville Community High School, and I'm going to be a senior in the construction management program. Oh,
good luck. Good luck in your last year. How did you first hear about Pikes at ISU, and what made you say, that's the group I want to join?
So my dad is an ISU alum. He was here before Pike, but just before he actually graduated in 1980, and when we toured the ISU for the first time, he mentioned fraternities, and he says, well, Pike has a very different reputation than most other fraternities. So I heard a little bit from him, and then it was really where I really got into Pike was after my first rush. Didn't plan on rushing any fraternities, and then Quinn Speaks, one of my pledge brothers, invited me to a rush event, and after going to the rush event and talking with Kyle Varble and David Stowe, I knew that this was not a typical fraternity and was a very special place, and so that's where it caught my interest, and I was all gung-ho for Pike after that.
Great. Well, thank you, Quinn and Kyle and Dave. So before becoming SMC, what other roles or offices did you hold in the chapter?
I started out first as the community service chairman, and then I was the VP of service.
Okay. And when did you become SMC?
I just recently, it was the end of April when I was officially transitioned into the SMC role, but I was elected in November, and so I kind of spent from November to April shadowing Jack Kenyon, our last president, so I got to have some experience going underneath his wing, and he was able to teach me a lot.
Oh, that's great. That's a nice transition program. And if I understand correctly, now the SMC role is for an entire year. Is that right?
Yes. So I will start in the fall, and then we will do elections for all positions, year-long and semester positions, at the end of this fall semester, and that will allow the year-long positions to have like a 6-month period of transition where they can learn from their mentor. So
excellent. I do have to say that I am not envious of you. I'm kind of glad that it was only a semester long back in my day. But good luck to you and everything. And now I'm going to pop back up and ask you, let's see if I can get the slides back on here. And I'd like you to take us through some of the spring semester accomplishments.
Yeah, so up first is our grades. Unfortunately, we placed third, but we did have a very nice GPA of 3.14, and we had 14 actives with 4.0s, and many of those were the members initiated in the spring. So it was very nice to see that our young members are doing very well academically, and we're still pushing to get first place in grades, and so our GPA will continue to get higher. So we also placed first in intramurals. We had a good season, very competitive. Theta Chi was not far behind us, but we still always held the lead, and it was a fun season with all intramurals. For our pairing for spring week, we placed second, but we did place as the first overall fraternity. We also placed first in dodgeball, the triathlon, and spring sing during spring week. During the tandem race, we placed fourth, and all the riders for tandem were very new. All of them were rookies, and so it was very good performance out of those riders, and many of them are young, so looking for good riders in the future.
Excellent. And just that fun fact there that Mr. Ed Pease sent along my way, the last time a fraternity other than Pikes won intramurals was 1979. So great job on continuing that legacy.
We'll keep that number rolling.
Excellent. Good job. And we encourage you all to keep working hard on the grades. 3.1 is certainly not shabby, but you know, there's 2 places you can get up above you.
Yeah.
So what can we as alumni do to help you and the chapter?
Right now we're doing heavy with recruitment. So having any potential new members or legacies that you know of coming to campus this fall, please reach out to Casey Phillips. His number is listed below. He is our recruitment chairman for this year, and he's already been putting in a lot of work this summer, so any help would be grateful. If you're in town and want to get a tour of the house or want to meet with some guys, please reach out to Al Perone. He's local, he's always on campus, and he works well getting tours of the house all set up. And we're creating we have a new position called the VP of Alumni Relations. That's Wyatt Keller. And so if you have any questions about how you can help the chapter or what you want to see from the chapter, please reach out to Wyatt Keller. He's there to work with you. So.
Excellent. And I apologize, guys. I see the type for the email addresses is pretty unreadable in yellow on gray. It wasn't that way previously, so it will. I'll put that in the program notes, and if you happen to download the presentation when we post it on the Facebook page, it'll be a link, so you can just click through to it. And there's Jason. Hi, Jason.
Hi, I just wanted to emphasize on this next slide, 'tis a season with alumni going to different open houses and graduations and that sort of thing. And to the extent that we can help the active chapter with recruitment, if you happen to be going to some sort of an open house and hear that a young man is going to Indiana State, the chapter would love the opportunity to reach out to them, and they have always been extremely responsive. So if you talk to somebody and put yourself out there saying they're young people that would love to be a friendly face to them on campus, the chapter does do a great job of following up. So I just wanted to kind of emphasize that, since this is such an important part of the year for that. If it's coworkers or if you have family or just friends of friends, and they don't necessarily have to be incoming freshmen, but it's a way that we as alumni can help. feel free to reach out to me if you would like to pass that name along, or you can reach out directly to Casey Phillips, who is the Rush Chair, and his email address is at the bottom. But that's one way that we can help, and recruiting, as many of us can remember from our time there, it really is the lifeblood of the chapter, and it is what differentiates us from everybody else, and it's the kind of thing that we really can help regardless of where we live by providing those names. And so if anybody wants to pass those to me or directly to Casey, the chapter would really appreciate the help.
Excellent. Thanks, Jason, for jumping in with that. And if there's anyone who doesn't know Jason, I'd be shocked, first of all, but that is Jason Hill. He is our Theta O Alumni Association president. So thanks for coming on. And Dave, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck to you and the entire chapter in the coming year.
All right. Thanks for having me.
We'll look forward to having you back again. All right, once we've recruited the best men on campus, we need to continue supporting them academically and financially. On a previous Pikecast, Al Perrone told us about some of the many academic programs that are available to help undergrads. Now he's back again to talk about how we can reward excellence in the chapter. Welcome back, Al.
Well, thank you, David. Great to be here and great to be part of this. It's always fun to watch and even more fun to be on. We've had a really good year academically. Dave Peterson told you about our grades. I put them up there for you. 117 men in the chapter with that 3.14. We were just 0.06 away from taking the title there. And you can see our actives had a 3.089, but our 18 associates, good for the future, with a 3.472, which was higher than any other associate class. So we're pretty optimistic that we're heading in the right direction, and we're going to have even higher grades for next fall. A few things we want to tweak, and making sure that people are given the opportunities at the house and to study and work with the scholarship chair. So good things on the horizon there. Below that, you can see just how the chapter fares. 13 actives and 3 associates had a 4.0 in the spring. That's 13.68% of the chapter. And then if you put 3.5 and above, we're up to 41% of the chapter. 3.0, 72% of the chapter is above a 3.0, and our minimum standard is 2.5, and 78% of the chapter is there. So we have a little work to do with some of the guys towards the bottom, but we're focused a lot on the guys at the top as well, and we like to recognize them, and we offer a lot of scholarships. We start off with the associate scholarships. Any man who gets a 4.0 in the semester they pledge or join, they get a $400 scholarship, and anyone with a 3.5 or above gets a $200 scholarship. So we gave away $2,600 just to our spring class, the ones with the 3.46. So we're real proud of them. And we do that every semester for all the brand new guys. So you can read through the list there. There's some outstanding young men that we're very proud to have. And these are the scholarships that we give out each year. And so we wanted to run through pretty quickly who won the scholarships this year and tell you a little bit about them, so you can see the type of who sponsors them, but who are the winners as well. And many of you know Stephen Yukio Fukumitsu from the Kappa class, who's an insurance giant in the state of Hawaii now. He endowed this scholarship, and the winner, Chris Grumman, is from Bruceville, Indiana. And you see Chris's GPA there is rather high. He's a network scholar and a great addition to the chapter. When you look at the Chris Davies, we all know Chris works here in town, and he's endowed a scholarship for communication. This year's winner is Andrew Case, obviously with his dance marathon shirt there, but Andrew is also a welcome team leader, which is during the summer, leads the orientation team. And many of the guys are Pikes, but he's a leader of it, and he's vice president of administrative affairs for the fraternity, which we used to call secretary. And he's also the student member of the board of trustees. So that's the one selected by the governor of the state of Indiana to serve along with Ed Pease, who's also is on our board and our president. The Todd Yoakum Scholarship, you remember Todd? played football and was a quarterback of the football team, vice president of the chapter. Ross Luttrell is our winner. Ross is a family of dentists in Terre Haute here, so he's new to the chapter, and he'll be doing a little more than fishing for pike. He is a pike, and he's going to be helping lead the chapter in the future as well. Our next scholarship is the Chad Tiemann Scholarship. If you remember Chad from Huntingburg, Indiana, him and Todd were very good friends. Justin Daters is our winner with that outstanding GPA and from Teutopolis, Illinois. He has served as our scholarship chair. Our recruitment chair for all of last year. So he helped get those really smart guys in. And he is a member of the Network Scholarship Program at Indiana State. And he's also recruited his own brother into the chapter. Our next is the Scott Coleman Technology Scholarship. Wyatt Kelly, you saw his name earlier. Wyatt is from Marshall, Illinois. Wyatt's dad is a Pi KA from Southeast Missouri State. And he, as a freshman, has been involved as a vice president of the chapter. He also was one of the people that went to Florida with us when we went to Sea Base. You heard about that in a previous episode. And so he helped with hurricane relief work in the Florida Keys. We have a tie for Dave Stowe's Fitness Award. You all know Dave, but Eric Krasilius, who's a senior, he is an athletic training major, worked with football a lot this year, just a great young man and a great role model for us. And Bennett McEwen, and Bennett is a freshman with a 4.0 from Clarksville, Indiana, and represented the fraternity at Leadership, which is a leadership institute done by the university, and they invite 60 students to go. 3 of them were Pikes. Moving along, I don't know if you know this guy, but he has a scholarship too, but Jared Paz is our winner there. Jared also went on the leadership retreat, or the Florida trip, and was a great asset there, and took the leadership role and organized another trip, and has continued to work to get our Pike Patrol, which are Pikes that are scouts or were scouts or interested in helping, and they went to Tennessee, and John Stevenson and Tim Wiseman both involved, and Patrick Luma were also involved with that in Nashville, Tennessee, so they helped with Special Olympics and did some other great service down there. Casey Phillips, you heard his name earlier also. He's our recruitment chair with a 4.0 from Greenfield, Indiana. He's a Prez Scholar. He was the scholarship chair this past year, and he's the upcoming recruitment chair, and an outstanding young man, very coachable and a great leader for our chapter. The James Woodard Community Service Award. You met Dave earlier, Dave Peterson, our chapter president. This was endowed by those of you who remember Jim Woodard, who was our finance chair when we were a colony, worked in town as a treasurer for Wabash Fiberbox. But he endowed this scholarship. David, in addition to being the current SMC, he also went on the trip, and he does lots of volunteer for Habitat for Humanity. In fact, he's on their board of directors, probably the only student on their board. And as he mentioned, his dad, Bruce, was a Pi Lambda Phi at Indiana State that went to school with me, so some of you may know him as well. The Andy Bear Scholarship, this one is always near and dear to my heart. Those of you who remember Andy Bear, who lost his life in a training mission for the Air National Guard. What an outstanding young man Sean Harris is, a great role model, fills all the criteria, just finished his freshman year, also recruited his incoming freshman brother to be a member of the chapter. The Skillman Award in the Arts, Nathan Chelf, who obviously is a musician, and also went on the Sea Base trip as an Eagle Scout and has been a great asset to the chapter in that sense. The teaching scholarship, of course, I think this was our first endowed scholarship because we were a teacher's college. And so this year's winner was Quinn Speaks. Quinn is from Chatham, Illinois, very motivated, very involved in the chapter. He really is the flag carrier a lot of times, so that's very important. And he's been involved with trike and tandem as a catcher, just had been a great asset to the chapter. This is a new scholarship. This one we haven't decided yet who the winner is going to be, but it is in memory of Jeff Osborne. Many of you know we lost Jeff this spring, and some of his friends, including your host, Dave Pittman, and Tom Gray, have endowed a scholarship that will supply a $1,000 scholarship to a deserving young man who is in the first 2 years as a member of the chapter. So that scholarship is available now, and we already received 2 applications. They're due by the end of this month, and then we'll be deciding who gets that scholarship. So thank you, Dave and Tom, for your generosity, and that is really helpful for our students. These next 2 awards are created by Ed Pease, and they are in honor of his mother and in memory of his father. The Joanna Pease Academic Scholarship is given to the junior with the highest GPA, and you see the 396 there from Max Cooper, who's from Terre Haute. Many of you may know his father, who is a Lambda Chi alum from Indiana State, Tim Cooper. And so just does a lot of great stuff with the chapter. And has traveled all over the world. The Robert Pease Award is given to the senior with the highest GPA, and that would be Andrew Heil with a 396. And Andrew is the son of Bart Heil. Many of you know Bart, who is a alum of the chapter. Andrew's continuing his education at Indiana State. He's going into a graduate program. He's going to be the grad assistant for athletics, for Sycamore Athletics this year. So very excited to have all of these guys represent the chapter. I'm so fortunate to work with so many outstanding young men that make good choices and do good things, and they make selecting the scholarships very hard.
Al, thank you very much for coming on and telling us about these guys. It is incredible just to see the GPAs that they have, but as you said, like every single one is really involved in a lot of other activities too. So great job to you and Stowe for helping to guide these men, and congratulations to all the guys who won these awards.
All right. Well, thank you, David.
And we look forward to having you back on future episodes too, Al.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. And next up, let's bring Jason back for some other special alumni features. Jason, over to you.
The items that I wanted to talk about, 2, one, the Military Brothers of the Month, and a huge thank you to Brandon Baisden. He is the one who drives this each and every month, and he was unable to join us. Normally, he would be the one who presented this, but in his absence, I wanted to share the 2 brothers that we're highlighting this month. The first is Stephen Brown. He's a member of the Gamma Xi class and has been in the Army National Guard since 2009. You can see there what his role is with the Army National Guard, and his rank is currently Staff Sergeant E6, and among his deployments has been to Arafshan, Kuwait in 2014 and 15. So Stephen, thank you for your service. The next brother is John Bays, a member of the Upsilon class, member of the United States Air Force from 1987 until 2007, and his last rank was Master Sergeant. You can see there his role as the Personnel Systems Manager and Education Instructor, and among his assignments being at the Pentagon as well as in South Korea. Among his deployments being in Turkey in 1993. So thank you to Brother Bays for your service as well. Second, and this is a separate item, the Theta Omicron chapter Eternal. As we're approaching 40 years now as a chapter, one of the things that we wanted to do was to make sure that we had a concise list of all of those brothers who have passed on. And rather than just posting this to Facebook or wherever, wanted to talk about it to provide some context and let you know what went into it and ask for your help as well. There were 6 or 8 of us that did a lot of research on the internet and working with the university, working with the International Fraternity to try to make sure that we had a list of those brothers who have passed on. And so I'll share that in a minute. But one of the things that we wanted to do was if you see an error or are aware of an update that should be made, please reach out to me and let me know so that we can make sure that we're all aware of the status and so that we're all aligned around that. And so if there's any errors, omissions, please reach out to me and let me know. And with that, we'll go through the names. There are 33 of these. Robert Pease, you can also see that there's an asterisk to identify who was a special initiate. And we've got the initiation date, thinking that a lot of people may kind of look for those men with whom they were active at the same time. So the brothers that we have who are part of Chapter Eternal: Robert Pease, Jeff Clift, Chuck Embry, Paul Dennehy, Jeff Osborne, Tom Pittman, Harold Ross, Andy Bear, Rick Spear, Tim Froderman, Joe Kish, Max Jones, Roger Neal, Orrin Dahl, Dave Martin, Johnny Shipman, Stephen Wyndham, John Childress, Bill Riley, Tim Pell, Todd Moon, Doug Scheffler, Kevin Fish, Stephen Fish, Brian Henry, Stephen Markle, Noble Norton, Bill Thompson, Dean Mann, Corey Woodard, Brian McKay, Chad Greiner, Andy Cast. So each of those brothers has entered Chapter Eternal for Theta Omicron, and we'll post this so that we can get more people to know who's on the list. But if you see an update or aware of any changes that need to happen, please communicate with me, and we will make sure that we get that so that we can communicate it to the other brothers and so that they're aware of who's a part of that. David, thank you for taking the time and letting me share that.
Thank you. It is a sobering thought, but certainly a fact of life that we will all pass at some time, and we have more than I would like to see here, but at over 40 years, it's also not so bad. So thank you for sharing the list. And I think it's important for us to also think about other passages of time and how we can continue to be in touch and stay connected while we're here. So Jason, if you wouldn't mind, I know we've talked a little bit about Super Homecoming, but just one more quick reminder for the guys.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, the Super Homecoming is coming up October 12th and 13th. To remind everyone, we do Super Homecoming once every 5 years. It is your best chance to see the most alumni. And so if you're thinking you can come back, but you're not really sure that you can come back every year, this is the year to do it. It's going to be October 12th and 13th, trying to give everybody plenty of time so that they can get other brothers involved. And so if you think you may come back, please go ahead and reach out to others to get together. If you need any help, hotels, where to maybe have dinner with some guys the night before, what might be a family-friendly event, anything at all, feel free to reach out to me. We can connect you with house tours, university campus tours, if you'd like for the ISU Alumni Association to help. If you want to get in touch with some other brothers and maybe you've lost their contact information and would love to see if we have their email address, reach out to me about that as well, because I would be happy to comb through our records and see if we can connect you with as many guys as possible. So if you get the opportunity to come back, this is the year to do it, October 12th and 13th, and hope to see you.
Great. Hope to see all of you there. And now it's time for our very special surprise guest. That is the dream girl of Pi Kappa Alpha. So with that, Kelsey, welcome, Kelsey Graman.
Hi.
Welcome to the Pikecast.
Thanks for having me.
We have to love your shirt. Look at that. So Kelsey, tell us a little bit about you. Where are you from? What year are you? What are you studying?
So I'm from Jasper, Indiana. It's in DuBois County. And then I went to Jasper High School. I'm going to be a senior. Well, first year senior. I get to do a victory lap. But I'm studying textiles, apparel, and merchandising, which is just a fancy way of saying fashion merchandising. And then I'm getting a minor in merchandising and dance.
I think that was a pretty big and popular major when I was in school. So is it a good program at ISU?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's starting to grow a little bit. I got to study abroad with this program a few weeks ago, so that was cool.
Great. Where did you go?
We went to London for a week and then Paris for a week.
Excellent. Are you in a sorority?
Yeah, I'm in Alpha Phi.
Great. Congratulations. Tell us a little bit about the selection process for becoming a Dream Girl.
So I heard about Dream Girl my freshman year. So and I was told that this is one girl who gets to be an honorary Pike, and which I thought was very cool. So I knew I wanted to do that with growing up with so many Pikes in my life. And this year I was nominated by some of the gentlemen in the chapter. That next week at their chapter, I gave a speech about what the chapter means to me and the gentlemen in it. And then that night, I received a text to come over to one of the apartments, and I noticed that there was a lot more guys in the apartment than normal. And so I was a little suspicious. And then we played a game. It's basically whoever puts their hand on their ear last is the loser. And so they, Jack Kenyon said, I think it was Madam Dream Girl who was the last one. And then he handed me a piece of paper that he and David Stowe signed that said that I won. And then they all tackled me in a big group hug. So,
Well, that's pretty cool. So what do you see as your role for the year?
Definitely someone who represents the best men on campus, and especially those now, and then the ones who were before. I'm definitely going to help support their activities, cheer them on at all their events, their spring week, homecoming, intramurals, all of that. Spread the word of their good deeds and help out however I can. I've also helped last year, I helped recruit two of the guys, my boyfriend being one of them, to join Pike because there's no one better on campus. So.
Well, give us a shout out. Who's your boyfriend?
Nolan Kiefer.
All right. Congratulations, Nolan. So you were kind enough to share some photos with us. So tell us a little bit about what we have here.
So in that first one with a bunch of the guys, that was at my fashion show that I did with my program. And that jumpsuit that I'm wearing won first prize for my category, which was very cool. And all the guys came in support. And if you see the floral shirt next to me that matches my jumpsuit, I also made that. And that's my boyfriend wearing it. So he got a model with me. He wasn't super excited, but he did it. And then the picture next to it is at the fire truck pool. And then that's actually one of the brothers' new puppies that he got this year. So she's my buddy.
Very nice. Very nice. And we have a few more here.
So the top one is me taking the pin off of Jack, which was very sad because Jack is Nolan's big brother. So I've spent a lot of time with him. He's become one of my big brothers, or what I wish would be my big brother. And then there's me pinning Dave, which is very cool to be a part of the transition between presidents. And then the picture to the side is from Pio Pike, which was during fire truck pull week. So all the guys volunteered to get pied. And so I figured if I was going to be an honorary Pike, that I should get pied too to raise money. So I sat out there and got pied for a few hours, which was kind of fun.
You have a weird sense of fun. I just wish we had a video of that. Oh, what do you know? We do. Let's see if it works.
Is this recording? That's a lot of whipped cream, too. That's what you get. That's what you get. What's it like being a green girl?
Viewers could hear that, but at the end, one of the guys said, "What's it like to be a dream girl?" So very awesome that you would be such a great sport to take a pie in the face for us. All right, now we have, I think, just a few more photos. So tell us a little bit about this fellow.
So that's my dad. He was a Pike from 1988 to 1992. And he was a big influence on why I wanted to go Greek, because he always talked about the great times he had with his brothers, and I would always ask him questions about college, and every story he would tell me was always about Pike and his friends there, and these guys are a big part of my life still. Some of them I think of as uncles, and so I wanted to be part of something like that, so that's why I wanted to join a sorority. It's because of my dad.
That is an awesome story, and all of us who have daughters, I'm sure, are a little teary-eyed just hearing that and how you are presenting it. So we're so blessed to have you on the show with us, and I look forward to having you back. I'd like to talk with you on a future episode about some of the sorority housing. That's completely different now than it used to be back in the day for many of us. Lots of other great topics we can talk with you about. So Kelsey, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, I understand that you are the first Theta Omicron legacy daughter to be a Dream Girl. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. I'm very honored to be a part of that, because it meant so much to my dad, and it's very awesome to have a new bond with my dad and not only share this connection with him, but with many other men that I grew up with as well. So
yeah, very good. Well, thank you very much, and you can stay on here. We're just wrapping up. So with the last minute or so, I do want to thank all of you for watching Pikecast again. If you enjoy the program, please tell your other brothers, guys that you went to school with. Let's spread the word. Let's get more guys on. If you didn't enjoy the program, then tell me why. Tell me what you would like to see more of in future episodes. Keep us updated. There's some great links for you. GoTrees.org. You can give us all your information so that we have the latest up-to-date contact info for you. And email us at Theta Omicron Alumni Association @gmail.com. Let us know what you would like to see in future episodes. And with that, that brings another Pikecast to an end. Remember to make plans for Super Homecoming, October 12th and 13th. Tell your buddies to tune in. Thanks for watching. Complete the survey when it pops up. And until next episode in August, boola boola. The Dream Girl of Pikecast.